Okay, hello again. This is Krill. I'm just about to play turn 89 of PB15. I've just today done the past 8 turn reports and posted all of them, along with all of the videos on YouTube, and for 6 out of the 8, including some written reports. Okay, so there is stuff for there's stuff now, for people to look at now. Okay, let's just have a quick look at the turn. Commodore's played, and he's done nothing. Thoth hasn't played this turn, but he did play last turn. And he didn't do anything to my units. It's good to know. I'm actually starting to wuss out now and think that I'm not going to do anything I'm not going to whip the library this turn. That instead I'm going to improve that die tile, and then I'm going to whip the library after I move that stuff off. So I don't want to risk losing, what is it, 120, 185 hammers, because basically that's got odds. Arguably, I might as well just sort of move the units off that. I'm just wondering now why I even bothered to defend that. I might as well just move the units back into the city, other than the worker. But is there anything else? I don't think there's anything relevant here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything special. Novice has actually logged in. Novice has actually logged in on this turn and had a look. I don't think he's ended turn, but I need to check Civ stats to actually see if I can do anything, because I need to see when he played his last turn. And he played his last turn before me, so technically speaking, I can't do anything now. I shouldn't play this turn. Because of having this chariot here and threatening Novice, I actually have to log out. So I'm not going to play this turn now, which is very unfortunate. In fact, I will actually ask Novice when he's intending to play his turn, because he knows that I can't play this turn. So I'll just have a quick look around and just do a bit of and probably do analysis without moving anything. Yeah, I can do the analysis now, but I can't actually play the turn. That's a bit annoying, but it's perhaps understandable if Novice needs a short while to think about his moves. So what have I got around here? Okay, that's new. If I go and check Civ stats, I see that Pindicator planted a new city last turn, and there it is. Pindicator's not creative. There's no creative leaders in this game. It's a fairly defensive position. However, I think one of his cities is one tile south of that ping. So moving fast movers onto this tile will actually fork 2 of his cities. So I mean, I know why he's settled there. I mean, he he used the corn. It's on a hill. It's defensive, or it looks like it. It's not the greatest city, but I don't think he necessarily had any way he could have settled in that area. So yeah, I think he's just said screw it. He's going to plant there. I don't know if Pindicator's paying that much attention to the game anymore, but that's his decision. He's not threatening the gold It's only this plains hill that I want to ensure that I control, but that's not even that important, to be honest. I just want it to have vision. Okay. He's moving his bowman around. Obviously, he's moving an archer. I mean, there's nothing much going on here. I did research masonry last turn, so that I can start the wonders now. I can do that now because that's nothing. That's not actually that important. That I'm not dedicating myself to completing this turn and ending this turn making these builds. So I can do any moves such as reallocate citizens and stuff, but I can't slave and I can't move units. There's a cottage that should finish this turn, so I'm moving there beforehand. Swap over to the Great Wall. The Great Wall's going to take a while. I'm going to grow in... Can I count? Yeah, it's 5 turns. It is 5 turns. Great Wall's going to take a while. I might not even get it. I don't know what's happening. What's going to happen with that? I mean, anyone could realistically go for the Great Wall. It's not necessarily that important, though. I mean, but anyone could go for that, and it would make sense for them. I went for the worker, didn't I? Or was that just because I didn't check this city? It may well have been that I didn't check this city. No, I didn't. I finished the archer, and that's just overflow. I'm just being stupid. Or no, I did actually build the worker. I'm an idiot. Or that was... Well, no. No, I tell you what I did. But I turned into a worker, and I then went back onto an archer, didn't I? To grow a... Yeah. I grew to size 5, and because of whip unhappiness, I put a turn into a worker. Yeah. Those of you that have just ploughed through all of the streams, it must be at least 2 weeks since it's almost a week since I actually last played a turn. Like, we had a week long break, but it's been about 2 weeks since I looked at the micromanagement for this city. But yeah, I put a turn into that worker, then went back to an archer to grow another pop size, then finish the worker. When does that unhappiness? Yeah, that unhappiness wears off in 9 turns. That's a while. So, whilst the incense is not finished this turn, it finishes next turn, and that die would take me 3 turns to hook up. I actually don't have to finish this worker right now. I could carry on growing on a library. The extra population I get, I use as scientists, or I could finish this worker. Hello, it's a quarter of the way there. It's a 3-turn build. Makes 23 this turn, 23, 37. Then I'll make, yeah, then I'll make 15. So I'll overflow out 7. So yeah, if I finish this worker, I'll overflow out 7 hammers into a library. That worker can do whatever it wants, which is most likely chop. Or hook up, actually no, it's not chop, it's actually hook up that sugar, isn't it? Is there anything Thoth wants from me? Anything he could want from me? No, there wasn't anything I could trade him. I'm gonna risk it, I think. Gonna risk it. Or would I? Because that's Commodore. Tempting fate with Commodore is not the smartest move I could make. got to think about that a bit. Um, so yeah, I could go worker to spear, move the worker to chop, or just road, and then move it out, and then use put the spear on that tile and try and put the plantation on it. Would delay it a bit. Obviously, just going worker and going straight plantation would be the quickest, but it's not safe. Anything else? But yeah, I mean, it's really weird how I've actually got so much power, so many units around. You just look at that, and it's not even close. But I'm having difficulties defending what I have. It's like I'm worried about one city here. I'm worried about improving tiles here. Um, Perhaps it's because I've got a different view on this game and that I am being more aggressive. Good chance of that. Could well be that. It's like, for example, on this turn I could move this chariot onto the plains hill and threaten the worker. Something I would often consider doing. And as you see, I've got chariots covering and a chariot threatening novice. Could well be that actually it's not a good move. But then again, I think that if you don't do this sort of thing, such as threatening these units, forcing people to defend properly, then they'll just end up playing. They'll end up not building any military units. They'll just play a builder game, try and improve tiles, not build any units and get an economic advantage. So you've got to threaten them. But not only have you got to threaten them, you've got to actually be willing to take advantage of that. You can't just threaten them and say, no, I don't have the balls to attack you. Because that's... because then you've wasted those hammers into the military units. And you should have gone for a peaceful strategy of not building units and trying to outgrow people. So yeah. In this instance, I'm going to leave this chariot here. I am not going to end turn. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to log out and let novice do that. For here, again, I'm going to build a spear. Arguably, do I build a spear before the worker? Is a reasonable question. And I think the answer to that is no, because even though... No, I don't, because I can use both of these workers to improve the die, and then either... Yeah, both of them to do that, and then both can move down to... I can move one of them down to road this hill, and then I can use both of them, both the workers, to do that. Or I can move this worker up to road that hill, and all the workers can do this, and then move all three workers down, and I'll just use an axe and a... Or actually I'd want two spears, but I won't be able to get two spears. I'll just use one spear to do it. Because if everything's roaded, that rice is roaded, then yeah, I can do it quite easily. I'll just use three workers to do that. Or do I even need to use three workers? Because I can build a 3-turn spear. It'll grow, but I'll have the happiness from the incense, so that's not a problem. I can do the spear, and that spear covers it. This worker, for example, I don't need to use two workers on the die, although I would prefer to do two workers on the die and not whip the library, and whip the library in a few turns. Then I'll move both of... I'll move one down onto the plains to road. So, moment. 89, 90, 91, 92, they split so that one goes onto the forest and one roads. 92, 93, he moves here. 93. Yeah, even then, that's not quick enough. I'd have to use one. So I'm gonna go with the worker. I'm gonna go with the worker, and I'm not gonna hook up the sugar straight away. I'm gonna do the worker now, and then do the spear. I'll overflow out, as I said, 7 hammers. So that would again be a 3-turn spear. So the spear will finish 9, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 94. So 95, be on the hill, 96. It'll be there. It doesn't matter where I move it to. Actually, no, I'll move on to the silver. Move on to the silver because because Commodore can't see that unless he plays the turn before I play it. In which case, I'll just move it onto the hill mine. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work at a spear. The archer can move down straight away onto here. The barb warrior that was on the sheep could be on the grassland river or on the hill tile. Could be on either. I don't know. I'll move the archer onto the forest hill. That's 1 sentry. This archer will come out onto the plains tile this turn. Then if the barb is here, move there. Then I'll move on to the forest. If it's on the forest, I don't know what the barb will do. It might attack. It might not. I don't care. As long as it doesn't move onto the plains hill, I'll move the archer onto the plains hill. But if it can't move on that turn, it might. If the barb moves onto the plains hill, I'll just leave the archer where it is until it moves off, and then I'll move on the archer onto the plains hill. If the barb warrior moves anywhere, then I might just kill it with that archer. If it moves in, I might just kill it with that archer. Yeah, that's not a problem to me. So that's most of the analysis for the turn, other than ARAM collusion. I might have to give up. I could take that now. It'll take me 24 turns to do mids. 35 total. On this turn, so that's 14. Well, I'll make 21 hammers over 20 turns, 240. I'd need 80. 14 overflow already, puts it down to 66, and I've got 2 forest chops, so it'd take me, so that's only 60, so it would in fact take me 21 turns to do it that way. If I do it this way, I'll spend 5 turns making 18, so I'll be 15 hammers down over those turns, and then I'll work that. So I'll still be down 15 hammers, but so over 20 turns. Now I will be honest, I'm getting a calculator. So it's 21 times 15 plus 18 times 15. No. Yeah, I'd need 95 hammers, wouldn't I? Minus the 60 for the 2 forests is 30. $35 minus the 14 for the overflow. Guess what? It's 21. Makes no fucking difference. The micromanagement actually works out nicer this way. So I'm going to grow. And that doesn't take into account growing onto the plains hill at size 9. Nor does it mean that at size 8 I could actually move. I can even run out of food to fish it and move off the sugar and onto the plains hill. It's better to just grow this city. Because it also means that I get to work a good tile in ARAM collusion for 5 more turns. So I'll use this setup. Will I use this setup this turn? No, I want one. I'm not giving up on the scientist. I don't need to do it on this turn, but I'm just gonna do it now before I forget, because I might forget next turn. I'll actually use this setup this turn because I've got to use the sheep either this turn or next turn anyway. So it doesn't matter about on growth to size 6. I've got to give the sheep up, so it's going to affect it either way. And I grow this turn, so fuck it, it doesn't matter. Make 6 food, need 28, got 26, save 4. Oh no, overflow 4, save 14, so that's 18, need 12. Next turn I can go back to working that, so I'll make 8. But I'll also have the incense improved and can work that, so I'll make 7. So I'll still grow in 2 turns. So yeah, next turn I'll use the sheep and the incense, and I'll grow in 2 turns. What to build though? There's just not many options. I want to build a stables here simply because um, I wouldn't mind leaving this city to just build horse archers, 5 experienced horse archers. There's not a lot else for this city to do. It could build a wonder. For example, I would have considered building the Great Wall here, apart from the fact that it does no culture at all. It's like it's too culture. I just don't care for that. I'd rather build that in the capital, where I wouldn't be at risk of losing it. Mausoleum of Mausoleus would be lovely to build for 10 culture. It basically is some of the medieval and classical era wonders are fantastic for pushing cultural borders, but there's no way in hell I can afford 450 hammers. Just not going to happen. It's like 30 turns, if I'm lucky, to get this thing done. And don't forget, I've got to give up the ivory again to get the pyramids. So there's just not enough hammers here to do a wonder. I don't have any forests left to chop. There are no resource doublers. There's no stone. There's no marble. There is gold though for Schwedegonpeia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I almost certainly am not. Available at not at aesthetics. It's 450 hammers, but with gold, which I'm going to have shortly, would be 225. Perhaps that's doable. Perhaps that is doable, but unfortunately, aesthetics is not something I'm going to research anytime soon. As much as I would love to be able to build some of these wonders. I mean, Statue of Zeus would be. I'd love to build that one, especially in Regia Donga, where I want to put the heroic epic for the experience points, so that I can get much more easily build commando units later on. Go for the Writ Library, get the heroic and national epics down. Whatever. I've got more important things to do. I need to get horseback riding. I must get that now. I've pushed it just by going for calendar, but I have crashed my economy now, so I'm not researching that fast. I must get horseback riding now. I kind of need ironworking. Not so much. I need to remove a few jungle tiles, but it's not as important as horseback riding. It's not as important either as construction. That's the other reason I don't mind getting masonry now and delaying horseback riding by just a few turns, because I need masonry for construction anyway. So it's not like I'm going out of my way to get something. Just prioritising the techs rather than going for a completely different strategy. And I need horseback riding so I can build war elephants, and I do have ivory. So it's like those 2 techs are the techs that I really have to look at getting for defence, not just for me to attack somebody, but just to defend what I have. There's... I mean, I'm working as I said, I need it chop Charles. I'd love to know where iron is. Swords don't matter. Oh, I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that if you were in a city, you can see how long it would take to build the unit with that city's production. I did not know that. That's good. I like that. So this game's 8 years old and you learn something new every day. But yeah, ironworking. Well, ironworking is something I want, but it's a guilty pleasure. I can't quite get it. Kind of want alphabet as well because I want open borders. Spies don't matter. It's a no espionage game, and the ability to build research would be nice. It would just help me get to currency, which is another trade route. More free commerce, which is just basically more tech. It just because costs are constant, so stuff like trade routes just go straight into your tech, to your research ability, pretty much. And you can build wealth. Well, I've got libraries down, so wealth is better to build than research because I can increase the slider and use those libraries. So it's like I kind of want alphabet. I might not even get alphabet. I might go straight to currency. But that's 600 beakers. I mean, I am quite literally now in a position where I've got stuff I want to get, but I can't get it. I'm like a lot of other people where I've crashed my economy. I didn't think I'd crash it quite this bad, but obviously I have. So what else is there? Talk about the library. Yeah, Say Baron again is the most boring city around. 12 turns. Can't. Nothing happens here unless all hell breaks loose and war is declared and all that stuff. Yeah, Grano gets slaved. Nothing special there. Um, and I'm working the sheep this turn because that does get improved, and I will grow this turn. There's nothing again, nothing special here. So that's pretty much everything. Okay, well, I've just spoken to Novice, and he says he can't play the turn for 18 hours, which is a bit annoying. Okay, so yeah, if Novice can't play this turn for 18 hours, then I'm actually going to have to hold off playing until then. He said he did offer me the choice not to, and that's actually okay for him to offer that choice, um, because he knows full well that because he's offering me the choice of not attacking him, basically, which is something I'm aware of. I don't have to attack him, but I need to. I want to know what he does. I want to know the information of what he'll say, because basically, if he doesn't move his workers, if he leaves one of his workers on that ivory, doing it, says I need to know that he's willing to take that. He's willing to take that risk um, to attack him. And he has logged in and had a quick look around, but he's not played the turn. So whilst he has seen that, I need to know that he's played his entire turn to make that decision. So I'm not going to play now. I'm actually going to end the stream because that's pretty much all I can do before. That's all I can do now until I actually finish playing the turn. So yeah, I'll have to do the run. Finish playing the turn tomorrow. Uh, Probably get 2 turns in though. Wow. I hope we get 2 turns in because Novice backs away. I don't want him to make the decision because I will actually take his worker. Yeah. I will definitely take his worker. In fact, I'd be a bit annoyed because if I moved the spear, I could have taken 2 workers. Oh well. Can't have everything. So yeah, that's the turn. Um, yep, I'll finish the turn tomorrow, and hope everyone has a good evening.